Hey crafty babes, it's Andrea, and I'm so excited to bring you a process video. I normally am not doing process videos for scrapbook layouts or my project life pages because honestly they take a lot of time to do. Sometimes I work on an entire page for quite some time, so that'd be a long time to film. So here what I have is a 6x8 page layout from my personal album. And I've started with a few outfit of the day photos that I took, and I've pared them down to just these two that I'd like to use for this layout. And I've grabbed some items from the October Gossamer Blue kits, and the 6x6 paper pad from the Gather collection by Maggie Holmes is what I'm choosing. So I've picked a few papers. It's got this beautiful flower print that sort of goes with the print from my skirt, and a cute black and white kind of lattice, and a watercolor aqua that matches the shirt. And then I also found this pattern that looks like a bunch of Polaroid photos, so I'm going to use that and do something kind of cool with those. I also went through the paper pieces and ephemera pack, and I picked this rose and also just a couple of extra things that would possibly go with the color scheme I'm working with here. And we've also got this little extra set of embellishments that I might possibly use, as well as some enamel dots that came from Chamel, and those are in the October Gossamer Blue kits as well. So here is the layout that I'm working with. I have two open pages in my personal album that I need to fill. So I'm going to work with a 4 up and then a 4x6 at the bottom and two 3x4s at the top. So I normally do not work within the album. I always take the pages out so that I have a nice flat surface. So I'm going to remove these from my album and we're going to get started. The first thing I like to do is start with the photo placement. So I like to keep them separated enough to where they don't feel too cluttered, and normally I don't even like them touching. It just depends on what they are. But since these photos are so similar, I'm going to spread them apart a little bit. And now I'm going to take the 6x6 pieces and make them into 4x6s and 3x4s so that I can start arranging how I want the cards to be laid out. I've decided I want this pink floral to be a 4x6 at the bottom there because I feel like it's such a dynamic piece of pattern paper that I really want to make it a focus. And then the black and white lattice, I'm going to make a 3x4 out of that one because it is quite bold. I think I'm going to use both, but I end up only using one. And then I'm actually going to go dig into last month's kits because I know that they have some pinks in them, and so I'm going to search for something that maybe has some pinks or some black and whites, and I do find a couple that I really want to use. And this is from the Cute Girl collection, and also, yeah, both of these are from the Cute Girl, and I just really loved the tone of pink was the same, and then I was lucky enough to find one that had black and white that was sort of a bigger, bolder kind of pattern like the black and white lattice. I didn't, because the flower one is real tight and then the blue was really open, I wanted something kind of, contrasting. That blue card is very by itself, and I grabbed the rose, and I really feel like it goes well there because it's opposite of the pattern. I don't feel like it's too much, and I really like the contrast. And there wasn't really anything else I wanted to put up there because there's already words to the left of it, and there's already an open pattern below it. So I really figured that this one piece could really sail on its own there. And then I'm cutting apart the little Polaroid pieces from that 6x6 paper, and I'm going to fit them across, just like you'll see here. I'm going to fit them all across this paper and kind of make them look like a little strip. And there was one that was cut off at the top because, you know, they're not all equal in size, just depending on where they were on the page. But I chose really open ones, black and whites, and then there were a couple that had little hints of turquoise. And so I picked those and then ended up just finding, you know, some that hung off the edge. I didn't even have to trim those, and then they all fit perfectly. So I love when that happens. And once I decide that I like them all straight and not kind of in a curve, then I grab the little turquoise bow and I decide I want it down there on the flower card because it's kind of ends up being like a nice zigzag where all the blue is, and I really like the way that that looks and adds a little bit of something extra to that page. And here I've decided that I'm going to take that rose and overlap it onto the pink card. So you'll see me figuring out how to do that here in just a sec. And then I'm also just looking through the printables and trying to find something that might go, but I end up not finding anything that I wanted and decided I wanted to just put an A on that black and white lattice. I wanted it to still feel like really open, so that's what I did. And here I'm just taping the back of those two cards together so that they stay even while I glue the rose to both cards, and then I'm just going to use my scissors to cut down the center. I'm just cutting the rose so that it then is on both pages, and then I'm just adding a little bit of extra glue to make sure it's adhered well on the other card too, since there isn't much of the flower on the pink card. And then it looks like it just, you know, sits there and overlaps onto the other one there. So I've got the A down, and now I'm going to go back and glue all of these little open Polaroids down. I'm so happy that they all fit like that. I wasn't sure what I was going to do if they weren't. Maybe I was just going to cut some others off the side, but it ended up working out really well. And I'm trying to not make them too evenly matched as far as spacing, but I needed to make room for the last one over there on the edge. Then I'm just going to put that little bow there, and I'm taking these little enamel dots, and I'm putting one kind of randomly in each of the open spaces just to add some color and make it a really nice focal point. And then I thought that I was done here, but I felt like the A was just floating. It needed some weight to it. So I'm going to look through the ephemera pack again, and I'm going to look several places to try to find something like some washi or something for the A to sit on. And I end up pulling out my pink supplies and just grabbing a label, because when all else fails, use a label. It is my go-to. I thought about it before I looked through everything else, and I found this perfect little baby pink that's a lighter shade of all those pinks that are going on, and I'm going to just stick it under here. I have then stapled my A and then decided I wanted to use a stamp that did not fit with the A there because it was too high and the stamp wouldn't have touched. So I took the A off and then stamped what I wanted to stamp onto the label, and then finally I was able to stamp August. I'm using the Heidi Swap date stamp. It's got that really fun kind of handwritten scripty months, and so you'll see here I'm removing it, and you know, project life pages are never perfect, so I love how everything can always be fixed. So here I'm just stamped August, and I'm going to staple the A back on, and then I'm going to use another one of those blue enamel dots to put in between the August and the A so that it adds a little bit of blue down there to kind of make everything feel like it goes, and another blue heart up at the top on that stripe. And that is my finished 6x6 2-page layout. I hope you guys have enjoyed. These are so much easier for me to do. They don't take me as long to film, and then I don't feel it's much pressure. So you guys might be seeing a few more process videos from me soon, but I hope you liked it. I hope you got some tips, and we will talk really soon. Bye, guys.